Alright, strap in for this tour of APIMatic. We know the dominant players in the API space have established themselves as leaders by nailing the developer experience. This level of developer experience requires substantial capital investments and years to build. APIMatic provides a solution that allows companies to offer a developer experience to rival the biggest names in the industry for a fraction of the cost. APIMatic leverages years of industry research and customer feedback to build a product that removes friction in the developer journey and increases the adoption of your APIs. Developers can make their first API call faster and write production-ready code from the start, shaving weeks or months off integration times. At the forefront of APIMatic's product suite is our Developer Experience Portal. Our DX Portal enables customers to generate interactive API documentation, code samples, and SDKs in multiple programming languages using only your API definition. So how does it work? You upload your API definition in one of the supported formats, select the developer experience components you want your portal to have, customize its look and feel, and publish it for the world to see once you're ready. APIMatic's customer success team is here to assist you along the way. Our solution can be deployed as a standalone portal or embedded in your existing developer portal. The best part, you can automate the entire process using your existing CI/CD pipeline, also known as a docs as code workflow, so updating your developer portal is a breeze. And now, a quick preview of what our Developer Experience Portal offers. APIMatic understands that your brand is essential. That is why you can customize color schemes, typography, and landing pages to make your portal your own. Your brand is displayed front and center in the web page header. The header also features a version selector so you can keep all versions of your API in one place. The table of contents includes a step-by-step tutorial, API endpoints, and models. You can create additional sections and populate them with pages written in GitHub-flavored Markdown. The step-by-step tutorial includes a Getting Started guide, which is auto-generated for you and contains content that helps users get up and running with your API. The API endpoints and models section contains your API reference, which of course is auto-generated as well and is extracted from your API definition. Let's take a closer look at the API reference. We use a 3-column layout with a table of contents on the left, documentation in the middle, and code samples on the right. Users can interact with form elements in the documentation to provide input parameters to the API, making API evaluation very approachable even for non-technical folks. The form-based interface provides a lot of nifty features. You can hide or show optional sections and add or remove objects from arrays. Information input by users is validated in real time without making any additional API calls to your server. Validation is not just limited to required or optional fields. Property attributes in your API definition are also used for validation, such as constraining input length and pattern matching. The code displayed in the right pane reacts to changes made in the form. So once a user is done editing the input, the data is ready to be sent to your API. Users can select a server to make the call to, provide authentication information, and make an API call to your server using our Try It Out feature. Language-specific documentation is one of the most powerful features of APIMatic's DX Portal. This feature allows you to speak the language of your developers. The language selector allows users to select the programming language of their choice and view documentation tailored to their particular language. Let me go ahead and select Java. You'll notice that switching languages completely changes the portal. The Getting Started section now contains instructions on how to set up SDKs for this API in Eclipse and how to authenticate with the API in Java. Where this feature comes to the fore is code samples. Where we previously had curl commands in the right column of the window, we now have Java code. And these aren't generic code snippets. This is idiomatic Java code, complete with the request serialization and exception handling. Developers can copy this code into their IDE and use it as is in their applications, but they can take it a step further. APIMatic wants to make API integrations as painless as possible, so developers can click Show Complete File and view the sample code as a self-contained file, complete with client initialization, authentication, import statements, and everything else required to make this code work. Once a developer has initialized their project and installed the SDK as a dependency, all they need to get up and running with this endpoint is to copy the entire file into their IDE. It's that simple. This code will compile and run without any further modifications. Code samples are an extension of APIMatic's headline feature, SDKs. SDKs are auto-generated by APIMatic and are available in the Developer Experience portal. They can be published to GitHub or popular package managers like RubyGems, PyPy, NPM, and others. Our SDKs are battle-tested and production-ready with millions of developers already using them. We've built guided walkthroughs to help developers understand how to execute essential business workflows using your API. You can offer developers step-by-step tutorials that chain together multiple API calls to complete popular use cases. Code samples are generated for each step so developers can use them to integrate. Finally, APIMatic's API spec exporter allows developers to download your API specification in many different formats to explore your API in the most suitable format. Thank you for coming on this tour with me. Sign up today for your free trial of APIMatic and start speaking your developer's language.